think too, my perception is they see it almost, they see it as a relatively highly paid clerk position.
Right.
In other words, people come in, they've got a workbook on whatever, like depending on what the presenting complaint is, they grab a certain workbook and they go through those things and they give their clients homework. But it really is more like working at the Department of Motor Vehicles or something. You're just you're processing, or like a waitress. Someone asks for a certain meal and you go get it and you bring it to the table. But there isn't really the sense of of this of the symbiosis, the dyadic dance, the jazz improv, these sorts of things,
Right.
whatever metaphor you want to use, and this is not that those techniques can help people, but as in my own experience, that's the last thing I find interesting to do, with my time. Certainly if I can tell someone something that might be helpful or give them a piece of advice, I would, but that's not psychotherapy from my perspective.
Right.
Well, another music metaphor, there's a lot of incredibly interesting and fabulously engaging songs that have been created from the same four chords.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is the beauty of it. But I also find, to some degree, we're talking about students being coming out with this jaded or view. But what I find is a lot of students saying, "I'm doing this thing like I was taught, but it doesn't feel right."
Right.
So I think that, do you find that the students themselves are coming out, or early practice, and saying, "I actually think I need to develop"?
Oh yeah, I get that. The thing that I see most often that's the most worrisome is people go through some training program where they pay thousands of dollars to learn how to be to do trauma informed, which has no meaning, but trauma informed CBT or this, that, or the other thing. And then they go into practice and they're practicing for 6 months or a year. And then one of their clients commits suicide. And then they really have a crisis of faith in a sense, or of confidence. Do I know what I'm doing? And when they contact me for supervision, my response is, well, no, you don't know what you're doing, because, and it's not your fault. You've been sold, you've got a little piece of paper that someone printed out that you can frame and put on your wall that says that you're a trauma therapist. Right? And of course, if you can print up these pieces of paper and sell them for thousands of dollars a piece, someone's going to do it. Right?
Yeah.
But it's in a sense what I'm doing with people now is first of all, it's like building up their confidence, trying to get them help them gain perspective, working through the grief of having a client who commits suicide, say, and then thinking, well, now I think if you in a sense, you've thought that being a therapist involves being a clerk, and now you have a sense that it's more than that. And are you willing to make the commitment to the type of work you need to do in order to really become, a trauma therapist, say, or any kind of therapist? So really, I'm educating them about all the things that their training programs and their certificate programs don't do, because it's probably not in the best interest. It's not in the business plan of those other structures, And so it's. But it's a tragedy. I mean, it's a tragedy to I don't know. It's like it's like the United States did in the middle, in Desert Storm. They sent people into combat and they didn't have enough, bulletproof vests for them, and they had to come up with their own money to buy their own equipment to protect themselves.
Thank you for tuning in to the Science of Psychotherapy. Please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that bell so that we can reach more people and bring you more Science of Psychotherapy. And if you're a mental health professional, check us out at thescienceofpsychotherapy.com.